Are you highly introverted or highly sensitive? Then maybe this video would be for you. And this is something that has been hard for me to understand over the years. Just myself being highly introverted and highly sensitive is the world does not run for highly introverted, highly sensitive people. It is an extroverted world and we are living in it. So we have to adapt, and it is at times very difficult because things are move at a pace and at a momentum, and sometimes for us is we need to slow down because we need to reflect and we need to process things. And it doesn't mean that we're dumb in any way. It just means that we are constantly processing information. And I think that what it is highly sensitive, highly introverted people, we process everything. So we're processing the lights, the sounds, the music, the noise, the visuals, everything. We're processing it all, always. And it could be very overwhelming. And anywhere we're going, like I always say, when I go to a grocery store, it is like, for me, it is like one of the hardest things to do. I have to make sure to go when there's no one there, or I just do Uber Eats and say screw it, because it is like I hear everything. I hear the carts, I hear the cashiers, I hear the lights, the noises, people shuffling carts around. It is like, for a highly introverted, highly sensitive, probably socially anxious person, grocery stores are probably the worst. I'd say that, and maybe like a mall or being in traffic. And we're processing so much at once, and it's like our brains are trying to just we're scanning the environment, we're just trying to make sense of things. And that's why sometimes we have panic attacks or we get overwhelmed. And I remember I went to, when I was in therapy school, and I was learning about this, and they have different things for like highly sensitive people, there's highly introverted people, and there's both. And when I was learning about this, it was like, I remember I had a professor who was saying that like highly introverted or highly sensitive people, they would be like very great hunters back in the day, or very skilled like armor or soldiers or whatever, because they would be like, they could scan the environment, they could hear noises, they would be able to understand what's going on at all times, they would be great leaders. And so in those times, in different environments, those highly introverted or highly sensitive people would excel, and they would be looked at as like you would be a leader, you would be very like, we need you. And then now in this world that we're in is like, we need extroverts, we need all extroverts. And there's nothing to people that are extroverted, because I think that there definitely is a skill. And I always look at people that are extroverted or can start conversations with anyone, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it, because it seems for me as like I'm just always inside. I'm always processing inside, and it's never my nature to step outside. And although I've done my work and I'm better than I was when I was little, I'm never going to be an extrovert. And I think that I wish someone would have told me that it's okay. Like, we don't need you to be that. We need you to be you. We need you to be whatever your authentic, genuine self is. And if you're a highly introverted person or highly sensitive, you need to find something that fits you. And highly sensitive people, if you look at like some of the greatest writers, they were very highly sensitive, because they were processing information, they were looking at the world through a different point of view, and they were looking at different parts of society, and then they were creating in their mind ideas. And so we get a lot of literature and things from highly sensitive people. And a lot of the great artists, musicians, and writers, they're all highly sensitive. So, but the world kind of makes us out to be as if we don't belong, or we don't fit in. And it took me many years to kind of realize that, like, that's BS, because I could feel it. And it's like people would always be like, why are you so introverted? Why are you so this? And why don't you want to do this? And why do you need to like recharge? And if you're highly introverted, you know you have to, like, if you're in public for too long, you got to go home and just like recharge, because it's too much. The noises, the sounds, everything becomes too much. And it's because we're processing everything. We're processing all the stuff, and the same person will be asking you, why do you gotta go home? But then you could be like, you know what happened? I knew exactly what went on this whole time. I knew what this person was wearing. Did you notice this person was talking to this person? Did you know that this person was upset? So we can tell if people are upset. We can tell. We have an instinctual drive to understand things that other people may not see. So it's like, yes, there's a skill to be extroverted, but there's also a skill to be introverted, and to also understand that and accept it and to embrace it. So embrace being highly sensitive. Like my father would always say, like, you're too sensitive, right? And he would always tell me that was a bad thing. So I grew up thinking that me being sensitive was a bad thing. And I realize that now it's not, because in a world where there's not a lot of sensitivity, that being highly sensitive is actually a rare trait and is actually a good thing, because I can reflect on things and I can intuitively see things that other people don't notice. And they would be like, how did you notice that? And to me, it's so clear, because my mind is processing it. And while everyone's trying to talk, I'm sitting there listening. And I remember when I was little, everyone would want to talk. And then there's this concept that when people are talking, they're not even listening, they're just waiting for the other person to stop talking. So they're thinking in their mind what I'm going to say next. Well, when I'm listening, I'm actually listening to everything. I'm listening to body language, I'm listening to what the person's saying, because I can also know what they want, what they need. Once I get to know them more, then I can actually, like, to my advantage, I know what they actually desire. And if you actually give someone the platform to talk, they will just keep talking. And they'll just keep giving you information. And if you just, like, when I had my own business and I was doing sales, and you'd say, well, extroverts are always the best at sales. Well, I would just let people talk, and I would just sit there and let them talk. And the more I let them talk, I would be like, okay, this is a 50-year-old man who lives alone. I know exactly what his needs are. I know what his downfalls are. I know what he is afraid of. And then I could listen to this lady, and she's 60-year-old and she's divorced, and I can know that this is what she needs. And so there's all these things of understanding that, like, by being highly sensitive, we understand those things. And if you're highly sensitive, then don't have anyone tell you that that's a bad thing, because it's not. It's completely not. The thing is there's not a lot of jobs for highly sensitive people. Highly sensitive people, highly introverted people, we have to create our own jobs. We have to create our own life. And that is difficult, because there's no path. Highly sensitive people, we can't take the college master's class. Like, we don't go through what the rest of the world creates, because the rest of the world is creating extroverted jobs, extroverted paths and careers. The highly introverted person is going to have to be the person that creates writing on a great novel, or creating a movie, or creating a song or whatever. Like, those are the highly sensitive people that create these things that is not on any career path. So you have to understand that if you're highly sensitive, that it's just going to be more difficult. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It just means that you're going to have to go on a different path. It's not going to be in the path of everyone else. You're not going to be going, there's no 9 to 5 for you, and there might be no like college masters, whatever for you. You might have to figure out your own thing. And because if you're highly introverted like me, it's like I couldn't sit behind 9 to 5. Couldn't go to the office and do the whole thing that everyone else does. And so it's like, if I can't do that, I have to figure out my own way. And understanding that embracing it is the only way to actually make that work. Because if we don't embrace these qualities that are actually good, if we don't embrace them, then we're left with nothing. Because then we're not extroverted, and then we're not embracing our introverted qualities, so therefore we're just not embracing anything about us. And I think I've been there in my life where I did not feel like I was worth anything, because I couldn't see any worth in myself, because I couldn't see any worth in being introverted and being highly sensitive. And until you realize that you have probably more worth, because not saying that other people that are extroverted aren't, I'm just saying that you have, once you can find the thing that is for you, like I said earlier in another video, Mark Twain said the most important day of your life is the day you're born and the day you find out why. And I think for highly sensitive people is like, we have to find purpose, we have to find meaning, we have to find reason behind why we suffer in life, because life is basically suffering. And I don't want to be negative, but we're all going to suffer in some form. And I think for highly sensitive people, we suffer more because we feel things so much greater and deeper, like sadness, because it is just ingrained in us. We feel the sadness of people that we don't know dying, and people that we don't know, just seeing people. I feel sad for people that are homeless. I feel sad for people that miss opportunities. I feel sad for people that never got the opportunity to do what they love. Like I feel those things so deeply, and where other people could just go by it and not really care. And I think that for those type of people like us, is like, we just have to find something that gives us purpose and gives us meaning. And when we do, I think we excel at a really high pace. I think we excel like quantum magnitude. It's just finding that. And I think that we may stumble around for a couple of years until we find it. Whereas maybe your peers are like going up the ladder, and their corporate ladder, and you're sitting here comparing yourself to these people, the corporate people, your peers, and you're saying, well, I'm a loser because look, I don't have the car and the house that these people have. But the thing is you just haven't found the right thing yet. You haven't found what gives you reason. Because you need reason to get up in life. You need a reason to get up in the morning. You need a purpose to get you going and to keep you going. Without purpose, it's like your flame is dim or is just out. And I've known that from experiences. I've been in phases of my life without purpose, and waking up in the morning and sitting there and trying to find a reason why to get up. And when you're in that place, it's very hard. Like, why am I getting up in the morning and being like, why am I here? What is the reason for it? And I think a lot of people don't think that. They just get up and they just do it. But some of us, we're like, we need to know why. And I want to know why I'm here. What is my meaning? What is my purpose? And I think there's a lot of us out there that we want to know what our purpose is. So if you feel that way, if you feel like you need to know your purpose, you need to have a purpose, you need to have a meaning in life, or else your life isn't really worth anything, or you don't feel like you can keep going. I know what that feels like, and all I can say is that you will find it through struggle, you will find it through failure, you will find it in time. It just takes stumbling and stumbling and stumbling. And that's why I talk about belief, because you have to find a way to believe in yourself. You have to find a way to have this overbearing confidence in yourself that you will figure it out eventually. That you will figure out why you're here, and when you do figure out why you're here, you'll figure out a way to make it work. And those are two different things that are both very hard. Finally finding out what it is, that is, in a sense, could take years. And then making that thing work is, in a sense, could take years. And we know artists and writers who have, they weren't even successful until their 80s. So imagine years and years and years and people not seeing the value in you, and you have to be the only one that sees it. Because sometimes people aren't going to see value, and sometimes people aren't going to believe you in whatever the thing is that you want to do. You have to be the one that sees it, and you have to be the one that believes it. And no one's going to be there rooting you on. And I used to think, there's people are going to root me on, and all these ideas that I had, they're never going to root you on. You're going to have to be your own crowd. You're going to have to be your own fan, and you're going to have to be your biggest fan. And through the biggest failures, you're going to have to still keep believing yourself. So no, you can't go that route. Maybe understand that you're not extrovert. You're not going to go that route. And if you're an introverted, highly sensitive person, you're going to have to figure out your own path. And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to embrace yourself. I think once you start embracing yourself, the other stuff starts falling into place, because then you start embracing the true nature of who you are. And then that's when everything, I think, falls into place. So if you guys if this made any sense and this connected to you in any way, please let me know. Hit subscribe, comment in the video. I'd just like to know if there's other people out there that feel similar to me. All right.